If you walk past 100 men, you better be better than 90 of them, bro. Because 90% of men, okay, let's talk about the losers, right? So this is interesting, like the losers are 90% of men, right? Now, out of these 90%, probably about 50% of them are the average guys that we see, you know, oh, like it's that fat guy and like, you know, that guy who goes to the pub. You know what's very interesting? You have never seen the bottom 20 to 40% of men in your entire life. I will say this again because you don't even realize what I'm talking about. You and I and every woman that we've come across and every guy who, you know, who's our friend and, you know, normal guys, we have never even seen a man who's in the bottom 20% of men. Think about that. Just think about that for a second. You have never literally seen a guy who's in the bottom 20% of men. He is so invisible. The guys who are in the bottom 20% of men, they are so invisible. They literally have like they literally have like cum walls. They don't even like, you know, nut, like, you know, when they're fapping, they don't even fap and into like a tissue anymore. They'll just like fucking just spunk all over their computer desk, and they've got like a special wall to just bust over. The bottom 20% of men are wall cummers. You've never even seen a wall cummer in your life. They don't go outside. That's 20% of men, bro. 20% of men, basement dwellers, 4chaners, anime profile pictures. So then that's the bottom 20%. Then 20 to 50% are like the really weird guys who still masturbate 6 times a day or something, but they're in school or something. So, you know, you sometimes see them as like, it's that weird motherfucker over there. Okay. So that's like really weird, 0 body count, just addiction to masturbation and stuff. The bottom 20% are wall comers. Then it's like the really weird guy who's like making horse noises or some shit. That's 50% of men, bro. If you're telling me that you're not in the top 50% of men, if you're telling me that one of these guys is better than you, holy fuck, bro. You better be in the top 50% of men, bro. You better be better than average, bro. If you're telling me that you're not better than a fucking wall comer and an anime profile picture guy, holy fuck, bro. You are, aren't you? Spam 1 if you're better than these guys. Because if you can spam 1 right now and think, you know what, I'm not a wall comer, then at the very least, you're 51%, you're like the 51% of a man, and you're at least better than average. Now, being better than average is not like a fucking, like, you know, status. Like, being better than these fucking guys isn't something to be that proud of. But at the very least, essentially 50% of men are like wall comers and anime profile pictures and like, you know, that weird, like, kid who makes like horse noises or some shit. That's 50% of men, bro. Now let's talk about the top 50% of men. About 40% of these are the average guys. Like, we think they're average. They're actually somewhat above average, who are the guys that you see, you know, oh, he's just kind of like, he's a little bit fat. Oh, he like goes out drinking twice a week or something. Oh, like he doesn't have a healthy diet. Those guys are a little bit above average. Because you've got to think average for men, it has to include that very low end of wall comers and anime profile picture guys. So slightly above average guys are guys who literally, oh, like, oh, you know, like I try going to the gym like once a month or something. Oh, you know, like, yeah, I'm just going out to the pub for a few. They're like slightly above average guys. Now, if you're telling me that you're not better than this slightly above average guy who goes to the pub for a few, bro, slap yourself in the face right now. Slap yourself in the face and think to yourself, how am I not better than a wall comer, an anime profile picture, and a fucking pub goer? Everyone watching this should be better than these guys, right? It's not hard, like, bro, if you're not, okay, this is like 70% of men. If you are in this group of men, holy fuck, that's sad. You should be better than 70% of men right now, and we still got to discuss the rest. That's 70% of men. Now we've got 30% of men. Out of this 30% of men, around 20% are the guys who are starting to, like, they're doing some good things, but it's not necessarily the right thing. So these are the guys who, for example, they're studying for 14 hours a day. They're so sleep deprived, fucking up their health, fucking up their testosterone, but they think they're doing the right thing. They're studying for 14 hours a day. They're working some like some shitty job that they don't even like, that doesn't even pay a lot of money. They don't like their lives. Their health isn't that good. They're not optimized. These are the guys who are like somewhat normal in the sense that, you know, oh, well, you know, it's a normal person, they've got social skills, they know how to speak English and everything, they're not coming on the wall. But these are the guys who are left deeply lonely, and they're kind of frustrated. It's like, I'm not ugly. These are the kind of guys who would go onto Reddit and go onto like those subreddits which says like, rate me, like, am I ugly? And they're always like a 4 or a 5 or a 6 out of 10. But they feel so weird about life because they think they're doing the right thing, but suddenly they're just not getting the results of life that they want. So out of 100% of men, 70% of men, no wait, out of 100% of men, the bottom 20% of men are wall comers. They come on their wall instead of into shoes. The next 30% of men are guys who watch anime and play like 16 hours of video games a day. You know, the guys who don't clean up their rooms and they don't go outside. They masturbate 6 times a day, 7 times a day. The dick doesn't even get fully hard anymore when they masturbate. Then out of the last 50% of men, about 30% of men, I forgot the number that we said, 30% of men are like these like sort of weird guys who just, not even weird, these are like the normal guys who just go to the pub and, oh, I'm just going out for a couple of drinks tonight, bro, do you want to come? And they do this twice a week, and they, you know, they're kind of fat and everything, but they're somewhat normal in the sense that you could have a conversation with them, and they're just not high performers. They're quite low working class people, but they're somewhat normal in the sense that, like, yeah, they're still social, they've got friends and everything. Now we're up to the top 20% of men. The top 20% of men. You guys have all heard the statistic that the top 20% of men are sleeping with 80% of the women. If you've heard that statistic, spam 1 right now, because it's not true anymore. It was true about 10 years ago. I promise you it's not true anymore. That statistic, like, you know, the Pareto principle, the top 20% of men are sleeping with the 80% of women. That is not true. The real statistic now is the top 5% of men are sleeping with pretty much all of the girls. It's not 20% of men anymore, because the top 20% of men, the bottom 10% of this, so out of the top 20% of men, 10% on the lower side are these guys who, they're somewhat doing good things, you know, that they are working hard in a certain sense. They're studying for 10 hours a day, but they're struggling with girls. Why can't they get girls? Because these are the guys who are doing the wrong things. These are the guys who, for example, they're going to the gym 3 times a week, 4, 5 times a week, but they're like, why don't I look good? And it's simple, like, they're doing a good thing, but they're not doing the right thing. They're going to the gym 5 times a week. Why don't they look good? Because they're doing cardio. They're doing like some, you know, the boot camp class, or like booty blast fucking class or some shit, instead of just resistance training, instead of calisthenics. They're not bulking. They're not actually building some muscle and strength on a program. But they're like, you know, they're going to the gym, so they're in the top 20% of men. But these are the guys who are struggling. So these are the guys who are doing good stuff, but just simply not the right stuff. They're studying 10 hours a day, messing up their sleep, low testosterone. They're not drinking anymore, but for example, they might still be like vaping or some shit, or eating like some processed foods. And you know, these are the guys who, for example, maybe they're not drinking because it's bad for them. They're not smoking cigarettes or weed because it's bad for them, but they'll still eat McDonald's because they say like, oh well, you know, it's if it fits your macros. And then they're wondering why their dick doesn't fully get hard, and they've got like weird health problems. And you know, like they're doing the good things, but not really the right things. Hopefully these guys, they're like, this is the pool of men I'm trying to attract. The guys who are somewhat normal. They're someone, you know, then they don't have anime profile pictures. Their name's not Aravind. But they're struggling because they're not doing the right things. Then we have the final top 10% of men. These guys are all doing the right things. And simply, out of this top 10% of men, about half of them are there because they've just somewhat new to doing the right things. So these are the guys who, for example, they're quite young and they're still struggling with girls a little bit. You know, maybe they've got a little bit of attraction. They've got girls that Snapchat and stuff, but they're not the guy who's like fully pounding through girls and stuff. Because, for example, they've only been doing the right things for a couple of months. Or perhaps, and this is going to be, you know, hurtful, or perhaps they've just got very poor genetics, and a bunch of guys are saying this shit of like, oh, well, you know, I'm only 5'3". Okay, well, you can still get into the top 10% of men if you're 5'5". You obviously have to bring some other stuff with that as well. So that's the top 10% of men. About 5% of these, so like half of the top 10% of men, are simply there just because they're doing the right things, but they haven't done it for enough. And then the top 5% of men are the guys who are doing everything right. The top 5% of men are the guys who are going to the gym consistently with a good workout routine. They've got decent nutrition. They don't smoke. They don't drink. They drink once every 3 months. They watch some educational content. They've got decent, like, you know, just acceptable genetics. They're not 5'2" or anything. They're not like weird fucking deformity or something. They're like, fair enough. That's the top 5% of men. And then this is, you know, a quote that I've liked, which is going to offend a lot of you motherfuckers. A quote which is going to offend a lot of you motherfuckers. If you're offended at this, spam 1. And if you're not offended, if you're actually inspired by this, spam 2. This is a quote which is going to offend a lot of people. It's a quote from this underground group named the Wall Street Playboys, like this very rich underground group, anonymous group. They've written a book which pretty much none of you have read. I've read it, and it has this quote which is so fucking good. It says, "There is absolutely no competition to get to the top 1% of men because 99% of men are not even trying. But then when you're in the top 1% of men, to then level up through that and get to the top 0.01% of men, there is absolutely ruthless, cutthroat competition." So all of you anime profile pictures better be spamming 1 right now. All of you fucking black pillars, Hamza, I'm only 5'5", be spamming 1 right now and say that quote offends you. If you're spamming 2, you've got my respect. If you're spamming 1, you're a pussy. Which one is it, boys? Because I remember reading this over a year ago, and it deeply, I've got the book as well, the PDF, if anyone wants it. This PDF fucking inspired me. It's like an underground ass group. No one even knows who they are, but like, you know, they claim that they're worth millions, and they wrote just books out for like advice on like how to make money, how to make your life more efficient. And that one quote saying, "There is absolutely no competition to getting to the top 1%, but then after that, to go from the 1% to the 0.01%, there is ruthless, cutthroat competition." And does anyone really understand why? Because 99% of people are total idiots. They're lazy, they're soft, they haven't been doing the right things at all or for a long enough time. And then when you get into the top 1% of men, everyone's doing the right thing, and that is what makes competition cutthroat. When you get, I know I sound like arrogant and stuff, but bro, when you get to my level, every guy's doing the right thing. Every guy's got a fucking 6-pack at my level. Every guy's making at least 10k a month at my level now. Now, I'm destroying my competition, of course, because they're not doing the same things as me. But fuck, man, when you get to a certain level, you literally realize, fuck, every guy at my level is doing, like, I only know a few guys at this level, but there is like a fair amount of guys who are at my level globally, who are attractive, confident, and like emotionally intelligent, successful guys, top 1%ers. And now to beat the next guy, it's hard. Because let's say you're a normal guy, let's say you're somewhere in like the top 70% of men, so you're not a wall comer, you're not an anime profile picture, you're just like a 16-year-old who's kind of skinny fat, but you've been going to the gym and stuff. For you, for the majority of you right now, for you to beat your competition right now, you literally just have to go to the gym today. You literally just have to go to the gym today, and you've beaten almost every other guy at your age and at your level. All those guys in your class or in your work, if you go to the gym today, you've beaten them, bro. Come on. If you read 10 pages of a book, you've beaten your competition. Easy. Easy, bro. None of you have can make any excuses for literally the majority of you. If you literally just read 5 pages of an educational book, if you just go to the gym, you're better than every other guy at your level right now. That's easy. But then when you get to a certain level, every guy at your level is going to the gym and is already jacked. Every guy at your level is already reading books. Then it gets tricky. The name of the book is Efficiency by Wall Street Playboys. It's optimistic to think that he's in the top 1%. Explain the top 1% to me and we'll see if we're in it. The top 1% of income in the entire world is about 250k a year. I make double that. I'm 6'1". I'm confident. I've got a status of 800,000 followers in total amongst my channels. I've got about 1 million followers. How is that not top 1%? It offends these people, you know, the people who say like, oh, Hamza's not the top 1%. It offends them because they're usually just racist. And they're like, oh, well, you can't be in the top 1% of men if you're brown. Go fuck yourself, you racist prick. Hamza's not in the top 1. Get the statistics and we'll see them, bitch. This is a load of BS. I lift weights, I eat healthy, and I'm still a 4 out of 10. The black pill is real. John O'Turner, what's your Discord, bro? Let's hop on a video call. Let's see what you look like. And I guarantee you're probably higher than 4 out of 10, but you've just believed that you're a 4 because you've been watching some bullshit black pill content. What percent is Andrew Tate in? It'd be hard to quantify, like 0.00001%, something like that. Like one in 100 million, 1 in 500 million, something like that.